Hey everyone. So I had a lot of requests for how to do the braid that you see in the headbands. So I'm going to do a tutorial today and show you all how to achieve that look. So I've got two different headbands here. So this one is the heart carabiner headband with the double braid. This one you're going to make a tube that's 82 rows. And then for the twisted headband, you're actually going to do a tube that is 92 rows. I know people do different lengths. That's just the length I like. Once you're done with your headband and you attach it on the back, it tends to shrink up quite a bit. You can see 92 versus 83, and the 92 is a lot smaller than the 83. So anyway, I recommend 92 rows. Seems to fit an adult head very well. So I'm going to set those off to the side. I've already got started on my work here. So I am doing the braid in the heart headband. So I'm going to make a tube of 83. I started out with my waste yarn on here. Makes it a little easier when you're doing the end part of the headband, attaching it to the heart. When you have the waste yarn on there, and I think it gives you a cleaner edge, but totally up to you if you want to use the waste yarn or not. So I'm going to go ahead and get started doing my tube of 83, and as soon as I'm done with that, I'll come back to you guys. Before I start that though, I wanted to share a couple tools that you might need at the end. So this is one option. You can use this. You can use a needle and some scrap yarn, and I'm actually going to use the needle and the scrap yarn just because this type here with the thick plastic's a little harder to maneuver. So I'm going to use the scrap yarn and the needle today, but either one will work just fine. A couple other things that you're going to need if you're doing the heart headband. You're going to need these baby bell carabiners. You can get those on Amazon. And then pair of scissors, and then a crochet hook. So this is a Susan Bates with the bamboo handle, a size 6.5. This is the hook that I like to use when I'm braiding those. It has a nice hook to grab with, and it's a good size to achieve the braid there at the end and grab a hold of all the stitches you need. So we'll get back to this, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I get to 83 rows. Okay guys, I'm back. Made it to round 83. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off close to 4 foot of yarn for my heart headband. I'm going to snip that. Then I'm going to drop that into the center of the machine. Make sure you don't lose that last needle there. So we're going to drop that into the center of the machine. And now we're going to use a scrap yarn to cast this off. And this is where it's important. We're going to be skipping some stitches so that we can create that braid effect. So bear with me 1 second here. Let me get my needle threaded. All right, so we are going to go ahead and crank this around, and that's going to get all of our stitches set to be ready to come off the machine. So we're going to start with the stitch that's just to the left. That's just to the left of the end yarn here. All right, so we're going to pick up that stitch. You just pop it right off your machine, and then you're going to pick up the next stitch. It's a little hard when you get started here. They're a little tight. So there's 2 on there. So we're going to pick up. Okay. Let me pause for 1 second. Switch out this waste yarn. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So we've got. Sorry about that. We got 2 stitches picked up on our waste yarn. So we're going to pick up 3 more for a total of 5 stitches picked up here. And so a trick that I like when you're first getting started with the cast off this way. One of the things I liked to do was whatever stitch I'm getting ready to pick up, stick my finger over that next stitch. And that way, if something goes wrong, it's going to keep that stitch from picking up, that next stitch from picking up and you dropping a stitch. So there we are. We've got 5 stitches picked up so far. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just take the next 2 stitches and we're just going to pull them off the machine. Just let them drop. We're not going to put them on our waist yarn. So then we're going to pick up the next 5 stitches. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and cranked my machine around. I picked up the 5 stitches, skipped 2, picked up 5 more. So now we're going to skip these next 2 stitches. So just grab the next 2 and just pull them off the machine, okay? And now the rest of the way around, this is going to be the back of your headband. So just put all of those stitches onto your waist yarn. So I'm just going to go around and pick up all of those stitches.
Do any of your friends know about this?
All right, so we've got all of our stitches off the machine. And now I'm going to show you how to make that braid. Okay, I've got my, my tube done. I'm just going to give it a little stretch, set those stitches into place. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go around the top and we're going to look for the spot where we left the drop stitches. So here you can see we've got this section right here that's starting to unravel. So we're going to help it out here. We're just going to start pulling on that and picking up the stitches from behind. We're just going to unravel that row. So just pull all of that work out. All right, we're just about there. So we're going to get down to where we just have a few stitches left. So we can see how we have 2. You can see the 2 stitches there. I'm going to pull that one out and leave just 1 of each on there. And now we're going to pick up our crochet hook. Kind of support that stitch while you pick that one up. They pull out pretty easy. So you want to put your hook through that one. And then now we're going to put our hook through, this other stitch as well. So there we've got our crochet hook on through both of those stitches. And now it's time to start picking up those drop stitches. So what I do is I like to grab the work, put my hand down through the top of it and kind of bunch my way down through so I can control all these stitches as I pick them up. So you want to pick up three rows and make sure that they're not twisted. Kind of spread them apart with your fingers there so you can see them. Grab that, and then I like to push down on my stitches on the side. I think it guides them through the hole a little easier there. Oh, we dropped one. So you got to be careful too. Make sure that when you put your hook through that you're actually pulling all 3 of your stitches through. You don't want to drop any of your stitches because they will unravel there and they'll be poking out. All right, so we're going to grab the next 3, support, and pull them through. Don't worry if it's off center, whatever, when we're done, we'll kind of give it a little tug and it'll straighten all those up. So grab your next 3, support on that side and pull through. Next 3, support and pull through. Okay, the next 3. Oh, we dropped one in there. Let me pull that one back out and try that again. All right. I'm going to make sure you're using a big enough crochet hook too. If you get one that's too small, it's hard to grab all those stitches on there when you're pulling them through. So this is a good, the 6.5 is a good size to allow you to pick up the 3 stitches that you need and pull them through. So we're just about to the top here. The 3. All right, and then we're going to grab those last 3 stitches, push that waste yarn out of the way, grab the last 3 stitches and pull those through. And then for a moment, I'm just going to take a piece of scrap yarn and just loop it through. Just loop it through that hole so that you don't drop those stitches back off while we do the other part of the braid. All right, now let's move around and find the other. Here we go. We're going to do that very same thing again. So let's drop all those stitches off. And I will link the tutorial for how to attach the heart carabiner to this video. I'll just take you through the braid and I'm not going to actually attach the heart today, but I'll take you through the through this part, and then you can follow the other link in video to see how to attach that heart carabiner. All right, so we're going to go down. Be careful when you're getting to the last one. Pop that through, grab both of those stitches, and make sure, sometimes when you're working with the yarn, especially this one, there's lots of strands in that, and those strands will split. Make sure that when you put your hook through, it's all the way through the hook and that you're not splitting those strands. That'll give you an ugly stitch there if you split that, cause some issues. All right, so here we go. Pick up 3 stitches, pull them through the 2, and we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did before. Okay, we're just about to the end of this row. I'm going to pick up our last couple stitches here, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do to finish that off. So put another piece of scrap yarn, bless you, babe. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to come back around. Let's actually give this thing a little stretch here real quick. So let's stretch it, and I'll set those stitches right where we need them. All right, so now we're going to come back around and we're going to find our start for our coral yarn. So let's pull that back through our work here. And we're going to get rid of that piece of scrap yarn. So we're going to go around and pick up all those stitches so we can pull that piece of scrap yarn out of there. So just follow that around. Make sure you're picking up the stitch and not the back of the stitch there. You want to make sure you don't split that stitch. You'll get them crossed in there and it's hard to pull that string back out of there if you do. All right, so now we're going to pick up this new stitch that we created here, and those three will basically just become a single stitch. Let's pull that through. If you guys would like me to make more videos, please comment, subscribe, like, follow. Be more than happy to share. I do all sorts of other crafts, and I'm more than happy to teach you what I know. Okay, so we are just about back around where we started at. The guy's hiding in there. Make sure we get him.
No.
And I always like to just go right back into that very first stitch just to connect those. And then what you want to do is you just want to grab that scrap yarn and pull it out of there. You can pull the scrap yarn out of that. All right, and now you just finish it however you like. And there's your braid. Thank you guys for following. Have a good day.